We pick it up here. Up to this point we have created a project, set the coordinate system and the projection correct, saved as, gone in and made our correct data shortcuts folder, brought in our data shortcut so we can get our surface. We have made then two alignments. We have made profile views to match those. We have made surface profiles to match each of those alignments. We have then made profile views and put them in the right spot. From there we went and we created a proposed surface profile. In this case we did it by just drawing lines and using the Create Surface Profile tools. I still recommend it that you do it on a ASCII file until you can really think in station and elevation. An ASCII file, of course, would be station, space, elevation for any number of PVIs, points of vertical intersection, and then you would fill in later with your curves. Once we did that, we made an assembly and a null assembly. We finally went to each corridor and we created a corridor based on a center line, basically a center line alignment, a profile, proposed profile, and then one assembly. We're finally now going to go in and change these corridors so they have more or less a gap in them. So I'm going to click on that corridor there and go to Corridor Properties. And here within Corridor Properties you go down to here and this is showing you the region. What you can do, you're in Information Parameters, you go to this region and you hit a right click and you can split the region. Now you can tell it exactly where to split it along here. That's not too bad. But I'm going to go ahead and just keep you kind of on task in terms of knowing where you are station-wise. And in this case, we want to go 200 feet beforehand and 200 feet afterwards. So we're going to go to station 131.22. And then we're going to go to 135.22. And then we're going to hit there. It's going to typically give us this error. What we're going to do right now is in that middle area we're going to change our assembly to null assembly. So what we have here is three assemblies. One goes from the start to the point where we broke the first time. The next one goes between the two breaks and the third one is the last one. When we hit here, OK, apply, you'll see it go ahead and it will gap our, you see how it gapped our intersection there. We'll do the same here. I'm escaping, clicking on the other corridor, going to Corridor Properties. We're going to go here, right click, Split Region. This case we're going to go, our first split is going to be at 42. Nice interface, by the way. I gotta like that interface. But we're going to learn to just type and know where we are. 42.54 is our first one, and our second one is going to be 46.54. 46.54. We've now gapped that. That typically gives us a typical error there. We're now going to change that to be a null assembly. We hit apply. OK, OK. You now have made two corridors, and if you wanted to grab them, I think you can grab one and the other. You can right click and you can go to Object Viewer. Probably a good idea to save before I did this, but I'm going to just kind of zoom around here. You see how long that takes, but I'm going to go ahead and change that to conceptual, and you can get an idea as I'm clicking around here what these roads actually do. Kind of tough to see in this view, but not all that bad. Alright, you have made corridors, but now the final thing you want to do is to go ahead, and you'll do a lot of work on this, but eventually you want to get those corridors into some sort of tin surface so you can do earthworks and the like. Here's how you do that. Once you have a corridor, and we'll come back and do the intersection a little bit later. You notice my design here. I don't know if it's perpendicular or not, but here's how I do it. I grab a corridor and I go back to Corridor Properties. You're going to go over to Surfaces, and in this case, until we know otherwise, we're just going to create a corridor surface, and we're going to create a corridor surface for each link, actually, the middle one right there. It makes a bunch of corridor surfaces. What I'm going to do for now is just turn the top one into triangles and hit OK. Apply. there'll be a lot of playing around with those corridors later when we're trying to do surfaces and doing computations like you're probably already doing in estimating. So I'm going to grab left click here, once again go to corridor properties. We're going to make a surface property or a corridor surface for each link. I'm just in this case going to change just one. I'm going to make it to be the triangles. Hit OK, apply. OK. I now have actually made two surfaces, one for each corridor. I believe it was the top surface I grabbed, but that naming pattern needs to be changed a little bit. What I can now do is I can grab one of those surfaces and I can see that extract objects. I'm going to extract those objects, hit OK. It's automatic saving, and now I'm going to do this hidden escape bar. Same thing, grab that set of triangles there, extract objects, hit OK. Now I've got a whole set of triangles, which are really great things to work with in all kinds of programs. It's one of the better ways to transfer DTMs or surfaces back and forth. Final thing I can do, I think I can go to View here or Home. I'm going to go ahead and File Save this before I do it. I'm going to essentially right block out. Now you can do a right block in 2 steps or 1. I'm going to do it in actually 2 steps. First I'm going to make first I'm going to make a block, and then I'm going to do the right block. What I'm going to do, just for grins here, I'm going to go ahead and match properties. Basically, I'm going to draw a line here, line, run out of time, line from here to here, just kind of a baseline. Turn it on and off. F8 doesn't work. F8 does work. It's tied to my recorder, however. I'm going to draw a line just across here, and I'm going to try to do a match property here. Match. So select objects to be changed, and then so it puts everything on that layer. So here's what I'm going to do for a block. I like to use, I'm going to do a 2-step minus B. Before I do that, I'm going to isolate my layer. Takes a lot. Now I'm going to say minus B, enter name. I'm just going to give it transfer. We're going to use 0, 0 as our base point. Window, window, grab all of my objects. They all went. And then I'm going to do W for a W block. In this case, it allows me, I think, if I do here, to actually put it out to an 04 drawing. I'm going to put this into transfer. Right, in the same place. You definitely want to keep your number on the front of these. Hit save. We're going to pick the block that we want, which was, you see all the blocks here, transfer, misspelled. Hit OK. Yes, that information is now gone. It's out. I'm going to go to File, Unisolate before I leave out of here. I'm going to go File Save, get out, and hopefully in the next minute I'll be able to bring that into a Sketchup file right underneath here. I'm going to close that out. If I remember where to put it, I think I put it in the right spot. I'm going to go to Google SketchUp or any other program that will take tins. I did not use the right template, but however, I can still go ahead, right click, erase, file, import, and in this case I'm going to use details so I can organize by date. Transfer, misspelled, hit there, close. Now I can go ahead and hit zoom extents, and you see I've got my road design completely in there, and we are probably out of time, but it's pretty well together here. I'm going to go ahead and get this a little smaller here. Alright, if you can see here, I'm kind of going around here, you've actually got that surface completely done. Thanks for listening. And we'll call that a project start to finish to visualization. Lots of iterations go after that. The intersection is the last thing. We'll talk about that once you've looked at intersections out in the field.